What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Purpose of this video is I want to get people thinking about uh, your ready rack, as I would call it. This is what I would call a ready rack, or some people might call it a ready room. Some people, Minuteman kit, whatever you want to call it. Back in the United States Revolution, the Minutemen, of course, they were the local militia in Massachusetts and Connecticut and in the 13 colonies there. They were, famously ready to fight in a minute's notice. Now, back in the Revolution, they had a little bit of a sort of a feeling that something was about to go down. We'll put it that way. There were British troops stationed all the way through Boston and throughout the 13 colonies, so it was not out of the question by any means that there could be a war someday. Now, I don't think we're quite to that point here in the United States in 2025, but as a prepared citizen, I think it's important that all of us stay ready. You never know. It may not be another revolution. It may not be a war. It might just be an intruder in your house. It might be some creep walking down your driveway. It might be, I don't know, a coyote in the yard or a raccoon in the garbage. It could be anything. So the main idea of this is to have all of your stuff in one place ready to go. And so I'm just going to go over my setup here. This is by no means perfect. I am a school teacher on a budget, so I'm obviously not going to have all of the high quality, high speed gear that you're going to see a lot of guys on YouTube have. But I think this is a pretty realistic and a pretty attainable setup for really anybody. Now, to start, the entire setup is based on this gun rack here. Literally paid $30 for this on Amazon. I think normally it was like $65 or something. I think it's called One Tigris, I think is the name of that gun rack. It is by no means perfect. It's sturdy enough. It says it's supposed to hold 3 or 4 guns. Me personally, I didn't want to put more than one on it. My Colt sits on there pretty good. I added a tiny little bungee strap here just to keep the gun secure, but that gun is not really going anywhere for sure. So it works pretty good. It's got this shelf up on top where you can store other stuff as well. Comes with hooks. We'll go over what I have on each of those real quick. So I'm sure everybody wants to start out with knowing what kind of rifle I've got here. I've got a Colt 6920. That is kind of my go-to rifle right now. It's a, basically an M4. On top of it, I have the backup iron sights, obviously the A2 front sight post. I think that's a Troy Industries battle sight on the back. This is a Leupold VX Freedom 1-4. 1.5-4. I go with the LPVO because where I live out in the country, there's quite a bit of open ground around my house, and I think magnified optics are hands down a huge advantage over whether it be iron sights, red dots, holographic, whatever. I think you got to have a magnified optic, at least out in rural areas like where I live. Now, with that being said, if I was going on a cheaper budget, I probably would honestly just rock with iron sights, and I have a couple rifles set up with iron sights as well. But for this one, we went with the LPVO on top, the Leupold VX Freedom, a budget scope that's pretty good glass and it's very lightweight. PMag in there, B5 furniture, Bravo, SOP mod stock, whatever. It's you're running the mill AR-15. It doesn't matter how you set it up, however you want it. Blue Force gear sling on it, all that kind of good stuff. One thing I don't have on this yet is a light. I have a rail there, just haven't got a light for it yet. But main thing is you got to have a rifle you can depend on. And I think, a Colt is pretty good, at least for, my budget. So, pick a rifle that you can depend on. That's the first thing, probably the most important. Next thing's going to be, we're going to go with a handgun. Now, I have a 6-month-old baby, so he's going to be getting older, so my whole idea was here, at least put this up high, and we have it in a separate room where we can actually lock it up too. but keep it up high out of reach of the kids. So up here we've got a Glock 45, 9mm. I just keep that in a DeSantis slim tuck holster. And the idea behind that is if I get up in the middle of the night, I may not have time to throw on a belt and an outside the waistband holster and all that. I might have gym shorts on. I might, whatever. So I go with that holster. I can clip it on pretty much any pair of pants and it'll stay locked in there. And then I've got a spare mag just sitting on top. Also got a spare 40 round P-mag for the Colt. I really like these 40 rounders. They're 100% reliable, at least in my experience. And they really don't stick out too much further. I mean, yeah, that wouldn't be my everyday carry with the AR, but certainly if I'm just grabbing the AR in one mag, that's probably going to be good enough. Back to the Glock, I also have down here, and don't mind my wife's sweepers in the background, I have, this is actually a reproduction of a 1911 shoulder holster from World War II. I found that the Glock actually fits in there pretty good, and why I like that shoulder holster is because, again, I'm probably not going to be wearing a belt to bed. I don't know about you guys, but I don't usually wear a belt to bed. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I got to go out to the front porch or whatever, I'm just walking around. If I don't want to take my AR, maybe I don't think that the situation warrants something like that. If I just want to throw on the pistol, I can throw on this shoulder holster real quick, and I can literally be in my underwear, and I can be able to carry that with a shoulder holster. So I think that that's a good idea for any of you that have a handgun nearby, is that you would probably want to have some kind of holster to carry it in, whether it be a shoulder holster, a fanny pack even, something like that you can carry it in without really having to, put on your entire wardrobe, because you're quite frankly, you're not going to have time to put on specific clothing. That being said, I have a ball cap here. You might be wondering about that. That's just, I wear a hat everywhere. So if I'm got time, I'm going to throw on that. That's my hat right there that I'm going to throw on. Here we've got this I think is Blackhawk. This is a Blackhawk chest rig. It is by no means high speed or anything like that. It's literally a X harness, slides on real easy. It'll hold up to, I believe, 8 mags. Right now I only have 4 in there because, to be quite honest, I don't really think I would need 8 magazines. I've got 4 AR mags, 30 rounders, and 2 Glock 19X mags in these side pockets that go for the 45 up there. So in a moment's notice, I could, hypothetically come out here, throw on shorts and a t-shirt, grab my Colt, put the chest rig on, and, I'm pretty much ready to go. Got a med kit here. Now, one thing I need to probably do is put this in some sort of fanny pack or some sort of sling bag, or attach it to the chest rig so that I'm able to carry it all together. But this also has Velcro on it, so it should be pretty easy to modify something there. Over here, I've just got a pair of gloves, a pair of electronic earmuffs. If I am doing something where I have time, I'm going to put on the ear protection, okay? If there's a coyote out in the yard or something like that, so some kind of wild animal type of situation where it's not necessarily a dire emergency, I'm going to wear ear protection because I like my ears and I like to be able to hear. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. One more thing I would recommend, especially if you're somebody who lives out in the country. This is from Walmart. It's just a cheap rechargeable spotlight. Okay, and that's going to give you a lot more range than your little handheld lights like this. This is just a cheap, it's a stream light, but it's a fairly cheap one. It runs on AA batteries. That's more so for, kind of like emergency situations and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, if you like this setup, if you don't like it, go ahead, comment. Feel free to criticize me. I don't care. I can take it. I am, again, by no means an operator or anything like that. I just kind of want to try to be a prepared citizen, be able to protect my family, protect the country, whatever you got to do, you know. Or again, like I said, it may be something as simple as raccoons in the garbage out here in the country. We sort of take care of that situation. So, yeah, like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me your setups. Feel free to upload your own videos. Show me what you got. So, yep, have a great day, guys.